just before we begin, at the end of the video, I'll say goodbye, but then there'll be another add-on part that'll further explain something else. I had to make a little bit of a correction in the video, but regardless, I hope you enjoy. So 7.3.5 came out today. Well, I should say Tuesday, depending on when this releases. Should be Wednesday, hopefully, if I can find background things to go along with it. Now, 7.3 offered a lot and nothing all at the same time. They offered the rest of the epilogue, I should say, of the Antorus questline. If you've killed normal Argus, then you will be able to complete the questline and the story for Legion. They added old world scaling zones, but no allied races to go along with them, which basically means it's useless right now, but when allied races come out, sure, I'll give it a try. But right now, it's pointless to release it, because we don't have the allied races to play it, which most people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to level right now and then level an allied race in, you know, the next few months or whatever. It's just, a lot of people don't have it in them. I don't have it in me. That, which, by the way, the whole pre-order bonus, which is the speculation at this point of when we're going to get the allied races, is not good. It honestly, if it's a pre-order bonus, I'm not going to be happy with them. Absolutely not going to be happy with them. Because I buy the collector's editions, okay? I'm that much of a nerd. World of Warcraft and I have had a pretty weird history, which is another video I'll talk about that. It's not that I'm a huge WoW fanboy. Well, I guess... No, that's not even the correct term. We've had a weird history together. So I bought the collector's editions because I thought, you know what, it was the one thing that kept me going when I had nothing else, and that'll be more in the video. But if I pre-order the collector's edition, I don't get the pre-order bonuses. All I get is, you know, $140 plus tax for a box, and everything that I could have just gotten was $79 online. And it's kind of a disservice if they do it that way. But, you know, hopefully not. Maybe they'll just release it to everybody. I mean, Demon Hunters were released to everybody, I think. I don't really remember too much. So, like, even Demon Hunters, you had to pre-order just to get early access to them. That'll probably be the same with the allied races. Now, the reason for Legion that I pre-ordered the digital standard edition was so I could stay up all night and play. That's what I usually do. But I don't really care enough anymore to do that. You know, I've grown up a lot since I've started playing World of Warcraft, and especially in the last few years. I don't have the desire to do that. Although it was nice because I did give the copy of Legion away to a subscriber of mine. So maybe that is something I can look at doing as well. Kind of another thank you to those people. But honestly, that just means I have to spend, you know, an extra $50 on top of $149 that I kind of don't really want to spend anymore. Because it's, again, it has to probably do with just growing up and moving away from WoW, which is something that I've been doing a lot more lately. Another thing they added was the extra 4 bag slots if you have an authenticator. But it's not if you have an authenticator. You have to have the SMS, which is the mobile authenticator. Now, I have the keychain one. I have the authenticator, so I was like, sweet, I get these extra 4 bag slots. Click on the button. Okay, you have to add an authenticator to your account to get these 4 bag slots. Okay, maybe I just have to put in the code. So I clicked OK, it opened up the thing, and it's like, okay, so you need an authenticator to your account, and it shows what you could do with it, and I said, sweet, you get the core helm pop. I said, next, and it says, authenticator keychain whenever active. And I said, well, doesn't that mean that I have the extra 4 bag slots? I went on the forums, and a blue posted there. It turns out that you have to have the SMS one, meaning the $9.99 that I paid for this authenticator doesn't get me access to those 4 bag slots. And it's kind of a disservice to the people who paid that money. People, you know, the SMS one is free. People paid money for the keychain one, and they don't even get the bag slots. Other than all the people that didn't pay for it, and they get it. So why, you know, the people went an extra mile, or an extra step, I should say, to secure their account. And at BlizzCon, all we were told is if you have an authenticator, and I was like, sweet, that's me. Turns out, no, they weren't telling the truth when they told us that you needed the SMS one. Now, I said, okay, fine, I'll add it to my account. Please enter a valid phone number. Entered in my phone number. That's invalid. Please enter a valid one. You know, I put my area code in front of that, then I tried it with the 1, then I tried without the 1, and it still didn't work. And honestly, this is a lot of work just to get 4 extra bag slots. What they should have done in the first place was just, you have an authenticator account? Okay, click the button, put in your 6 digits, or 7 or 9 or whatever, because I know some people have different ones, and then you're good to go. That's all you have to do. That's all they had to do. But no, they were like, you have to have an SMS one, even though a lot of the people who've been playing for a long time only have the keychain one. And that's just a huge disservice to the people, like I said, who paid money so that they can authenticate their account. You know, in other words, it's useless for me to have the keychain one because I can have one for my mobile phone. Which, yeah, you could say that you pay money for a phone a month anyway, but you're paying that anyway. You pay for your text messages, your outrageous data charges in Canada, let's say, like I pay right now, which is outrageous. Phone bills are absolutely horrific here. But it's I don't know, they should have done it a lot differently. And they also added the new battleground that you can't queue for. You have to queue for random and hope it pops up. You can't just queue for the Seething Shore. You know how you can go into a specific battleground? And I was like, why? Like, especially on the first day of its launch, you can't just queue for it. Unless there's a specific battleground person somewhere, which, forgive my ignorance, but I couldn't find anything. So right now I have to go along with it's not there. I pressed H and I was like, sweet, I'm going to queue for it. I'm going to record it. This is going to be awesome. Looked, and I was like, so you can't even queue for it. You have to hope you get it. Now that's just absolutely, it makes no sense. This patch has nothing and everything in it. And it's kind of a pre-patch, if that makes sense. Like we haven't lost our artifact weapons. We don't have the allied races. There are the emissaries. I think I didn't even care enough to check, because by the time I got through all this, I was done. I logged off for the night. That was it for me. It's kind of a weird thing right now where I'm not very impressed, but it could just, and people know that I'm not the type of person to really complain too much. I usually back Blizzard on most of their decisions, especially with Legion. I back them on almost every decision they've made. But these decisions, I can't back them on any of them. Because honestly, they don't make any logical sense otherwise. And unless this patch was rushed, in that case, why was it rushed? They could have taken the extra 2 weeks to put in the Seething Shore that you can queue for specifically. They could have waited a couple extra weeks to give the authenticator to the people who had the keychain one and not just the SMS one. They could have done all that, but they chose not to. And I know there's probably like a weird, stupid reason for it. But honestly, if they could have added it in the first place for the authenticator, they could have added the keychain one. Don't let them fool you. They could have done it. But I guess you can buy legendaries now, which is cool. You know, that's pretty cool. You can buy legendaries. So at least you can do that now. Other than that, I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I don't really have too much else to say. What else did they... I don't think they did too much else today. They added Old War time walking, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to do those, but I had no interest. I've said this in the past. I have no interest to go back and do time walking raids. I don't really like to play too much in the past. I like to live in the moment and in the future. I don't really like to... And I guess it's because I did them at live. Not so much Black Temple, but Old War I did at live. So I have no desire to go back to that place because I have really good memories, but also like really like grindy ones, you know, like trying to down a boss that we just couldn't down, or just like all the guild drama. I've talked about that too. I had a lot of guild drama in Old War. I had a guildmaster cry, which was pretty funny. Even to this day, it's still pretty funny to me, even though, you know, if you've cried, that's okay. I understand you're stressed and stuff, but there's just no reason for me, theoretically, to go back. But who knows? I might go back and try and heal it, because that was what I did back in the day, is I healed it. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All dungeons now award personal loot, but a lot of the times, didn't they already? I can only think of a few instances, even leveling. I got leveled not too long ago. I can only think of a few instances where people had to roll on stuff. A lot of the time it was all personal, and I don't know if that was some sort of glitch or something, but the personal loot thing does not bother me at all. Especially for leveling, because you're going to level out that gear anyway. The only thing that it kills is transmog farming. Even like, as long as they don't make it to raids, if old raids become personal loot, I'm done. Like that's for me is like, because right now I'm trying to get all the sets, and I'm not done with WoW, but I'll just be there'd be no point in farming out anything, because right now like even some of the transmog sets are just like have weird, like a world boss that you have to kill that spawns once like twice a day, has personal loot on it, so you'll never get the item, and some of them are just world drops, which better hope that's on the auction house. It's not there, well, you're out of luck. So there's like still a couple things that they have to fix. But again, this patch it has a lot to offer, but it offers nothing at the same time. Like the whole old world stuff would be really cool if I could play my Lightforged Draenei. That's the only way I would do it. That's the only way I'm going to go back and level before Battle for Azeroth. Because right now, a lot of people are leveling because they're done Argus. They're done on the raid, so they're just gonna go back and do old content. You know, that's good. And I'm not saying that those people are anyway dumb for doing it, but I'm just saying for me, it's not worth it for me to do it right now without the allied race. The allied race to me is the only reason I'd ever go back and level again, and it's the only reason I'm going to. So all of this change that they made is useless to me. But again, some people like it. Anyway, are you guys going to level again? Did you get the SMS attached to your account and the 4 extra amazing bag slots? Are you interested in time walking? Let me know in the comments below. And just an update too, that the next podcast will not be World of Warcraft oriented. I don't know if that's going to evolve my channel. It might. Hopefully. It might evolve it away from World of Warcraft, which honestly I'm okay with. But it's weird that, you know, it's going to be weird for a lot of people who've been here for World of Warcraft. But honestly, it's just doing this is fun and everything. But maybe I can spark other interests. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. So I have to make a bit of a correction. And this correction, of course, people might have been watching this, might have known what the correction is going to be. I went to do some transmog farming because my friend told me, he goes, "Hey Nick and Nikolai, you should really go back and try to farm your transmog sets." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "You know, just do it." He said, "I know you're probably gonna make a video on the patch, so just do it, and then I'll watch your video tomorrow and see what you say." And I said, "Uh-oh." So I started off with, which has been the video in the background, by the way. As you can see, I started off in Terrace of Endless Springs. That raid used to take me 5 minutes to do. Now I can't do it. It's like we jumped back in expansion. And it makes no sense as to why this happens. And again, you'll see it in Wrath of the Lich King, which was sort of my fault, but I used to power up the turret to about 98, 99 if I can. Shoot it at the other gunship. That was it. You could see that I jumped off because I knew that that's how much it took to kill. 44%? Like, hello? I know some people are like, hello? But it doesn't make any sense to do this. It makes no sense, Blizzard. It's not even a viable gold farming method anymore. You know, you get 400 gold from doing a world quest. That's more viable. World quests are a lot more viable. Doing Battlegrounds now is 200 gold every 2 levels and 2,000 gold for reaching near max. You have just stuff that drops in the world, just killing mobs. They drop like 28 gold items. These things make it a much more viable option. You can make more gold running around killing something than you can from raids. Probably about the same amount of time. Easy. Let's argue with myself for a second, because that's what I'm doing basically is I'm looking right at my microphone right now talking to you guys, which is probably myself. But the argument I'll make to myself was, okay, well, that's because of the stat squish coming. And I'm going to make the exact same argument that I made for allied races and old world content scaling. Why didn't they release them together? If this is going to get better in the stat squish, item level squish, then why not wait and release it all together? Why would they do this pre-patch? Of a pre-patch, you know, it doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's going to get better with the stat squish and item level squish. I think it's going to get worse. I mean, at 120, it might not be bad. It might be easy. But for right now, it's like we went back to level 100. And I tried to farm Warlords of Draenor stuff. I'm not even... it's about the same. Warlords of Draenor stuff is didn't get scaled, so luckily that's all the same. But everything else got harder for no reason, especially Wrath. Like who cares, Blizzard? That stuff gives, like... If they wanted to nerf it for gold farmers, which is an argument I can't even entertain, they would have reduced the drop rate... I'm sorry, not the drop rate. The gold drop rate and the amount of gold that the items sell for. And you might think, well, that takes a lot of work to do. This is an easy fix. But it's a disingenuous fix. It's a fix that affects people for no reason. Like, it's like it wasn't properly tested. And I guess I could blame myself, because I don't play the PTS, really. If I would have saw this on the PTS, I'd have been like, yeah, this needs to be changed. But even though Blizzard probably would have ignored it anyway, but at least then I would have told them that this needs to be changed because this doesn't make any sense. If you're going to release the pre-patch, release it all together. But I've said all my grievances. This video is long, but hopefully the Stat Squish, I'm Low Squish fix it. Probably won't, but you never know. There's always hope, right? And again, like, I'm not the one to really be that critical of things, but none of this makes sense to me. I mean, it makes sense because, you know, you have to group up with people. It takes more time. Time is money, etc., etc. But for us, it makes no sense. And even with the authenticator thing, it makes zero sense. That makes even less sense. And I think it just comes down to Blizzard did not test this stuff. They just didn't. And I know they said they needed our help with old world scaling and stuff like that. And people tested the hell out of the zones and the dungeons, but they didn't test the old raids because, you know... And maybe some people did. Maybe some people said it was flawed. But who knows? I mean, it's entirely possible that they could have tested it. But anyway, again, video's too long. Thank you guys for watching. I don't understand, but hopefully time will fix it. So talk to you later.